body is surely the foremost instrument of doing all, means the goodness. So the most important is to develop awareness of mind through body, means the physic. So before entering the main discussion, how this relationship would be maintained for health and well-being, let me invite our respected Professor Dr. Lalit Kumar Singh, Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Mizoram University, to deliver the welcome address to the audience. Sir, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sogata Sarkarji. I, on the behalf of organizing committee and on the behalf of Mizoram University, welcome to our resource persons of the today. At first, the Sri Chirag Gautamji, the Yoga Acharya from the Binyas Yoga Ashram, Rishikesh. I welcome you, sir, in this webinar. And the next, our resource person is the Dr. Naukshepam Nilakaman Singh. He is the assistant professor in the Department of Yoga, Manipur University. I welcome you, sir, in this webinar. And then the next is the Sri Ravitap Sahu from the retreat for me, New Delhi. I welcome you, sir, in this this webinar. The role and importance of yoga in modern life is become very important, as all we know. Before me, our anchor, the Dr. Sogata Sarkarji, has just say a few already say about this one. Is nowadays today we are looking healthy outside, but are we mentally sound or what is our mental health is very important. We may go to the gym and we may eat the healthy foods so that our health, the physical health, may become very good. But as you know that now the modern life is having the lots of stress, pressures, work pressures, the work cultures are much more, so that automatically there are lots of pressure on our mind. So now is that we have to make our mind also be healthy so that we can overcome all this kind of the pressures. So the three honorable speakers, the Sri Chirag Gautam Yoga Acharya ji, will give the essence of the meditations and the mantra chanting. And the next, our Nilakaman sir will also give on the yoga for mental health and the well-being. And the third speaker, the Ravitap Sahu sir, also give the essence of asanas and the pranayams. So all these things will be going to be focused on how we are going to become a healthy mind. The healthy bodies we can build by doing proper exercise and the proper diets. But at the same time, because of the modern life, lots of stress are there, lots of tensions are there in the workplace or the home place. In the life is a competition. So by running behind the success, we all face a lot of stress in our mind. So because of these things, many of the youths are having issues with the mental issues are there. Because of the mental issues, there are many other things are also be coming up. So with this, I welcome all the participants who will be present here in this one-day webinar. Just now also, I just saw our Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, sir, Jagdish Patnaik, sir, also have just joined. I welcome you, sir, in this the very important topics on the role and importance of yoga in the modern lives, because as I have just said that in the modern life, there are so many things has been coming up across in our workplace, in our home, or maybe with our friend circles. Lots of mental pressures are there. So how we will be able to build our mind healthy? This is a very important sense. So with this word, I welcome all the three honorable resource persons and all the participants from the different parts of the countries in this one-day webinar. Thank you very much. Over to you, Dr. Sogata ji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Lulit sir, for your welcome address. Sir, you have already welcomed our Pro Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor Jagdish K. Patnaik, sir, has joined. So I would like to request you, sir, if you kindly share few words to the participants, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Namaskar to everybody. Good afternoon also. I'm very happy that we have been able to do one webinar relating to the role of importance of yoga. Actually, whatever I speak will be very, very limited for the simple reason that yoga is such a vast science. It encompasses the entire life process. The beauty of this science is that all of us are in a yogic state, despite the fact that there is a kind of a limited understanding about the yogic science as only related to some postures and some breathing exercises. It's not so. Always, by the simple meaning of yoga is that you add or you merge yourself with the creation, because we are all created through that cosmic process, and that cosmic process is an ongoing, dynamic process. And when we engage in any activity, that is known as yoga, positive and negative, anything, because anything, any activity that creates any vibration is a kind of yogic activity, and that is related to the cosmic dynamics. So when we talk about yoga in life, in its importance in our life, I would say that at every point of our life, we need to understand that when yoga is a part and parcel of a living being. I don't know about the dead, but all the living beings are in a state of yogic process. For us, for ordinary human beings, it is definitely important that we understand at least some of the important aspects when you engage in the real yogic science. Because yogic science has got its origin from Patanjali Shastri, or even prior to that also. But it was Patanjali Shastri who did codify the yogic system. And subsequent to that, many thinkers, many ancient philosophers contributed to the strengthening and also to the enrichment of yogic science. Now, how it is going to be important for us, to the ordinary human beings? The fact that we understand yoga as a science itself is an important thing. When we understand it and internalize ourselves, the essence of yoga, it will be very much part of yogic science, and it will be part of our yogic life. I'm very happy. I'm not going to get into the details because there are experts and resource persons. So if I speak anything about yoga, all these things, but one thing I will tell you, that we are always in a state of yogic state. That you should remember. You may reject it, but this is a fact. And the vibrations created, positive or negative, whatever vibrations that you created, they that contribute to the cosmic process, and that cosmic process that influences us in reverse. Supposing we cut a tree, that has an impact on us. If we think something evil of something, that will have an impact on us directly or indirectly. When I talk about us as individuals, as communities, as human beings, as civilization, that has its impact. The quantum of the performance of an act will determine the cosmic process. These things, they are interrelated. All of us are related. That relatedness is known as yoga. So we should, I will not speak much about that because the experts are there and I am a too little person to speak about yoga. But I have got some understanding, maybe wrong, about yoga. And this is my understanding of yoga. And I hope we will benefit from the three resource persons. And I got a message from Professor Sanjay that please come and bless us. Yes, I will bless because I'm the senior most person. I'll definitely bless you and myself also, because you can do your own puja also, because you're part of that yogic process. So God bless you. God bless all of us, and God bless the cosmos. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir, for your very nice and motivational words, which will show us the path. And like this kind of motivational leadership, always we accept from you, from VC sir, from all of our senior professors also, as you always do that one. So thank you very much. What sir has highlighted, that the two things, that is the science of yoga and the cosmic world, to relate that one, that is our point. The role and importance of yoga in the modern life, as sir has mentioned that one. Thank you very much, sir. I again thank you for spending some valuable time with us. Thank you, sir. So right now it is the time to have to hand over our valuable time to our important speakers. So as we are going to know, we have so one thing I want to mention to our participants: if you have any questions, at last we will go with this question answer sessions, not after one by one of the lecture. So you please use the chat box, and we will collect those questions, and we will discuss later on. Our speakers will help to clear our doubts after their lecture also, even if something is there. Okay, so right now let me invite, without spending much time, Sri Chirag Gautam ji. Sir is, after his schooling, he did his Bachelor of Yoga Shastra from Himalayan Garhwal University and registered himself as yoga teacher training course for 500 hours. He is also having the experience of art of living for 3 years, and he is the lecturer at Vinayasha Yoga Ashram, Rishikesh, Uttarakhand, and also professionally he is attached with Ashtanga Yoga Ashram and Shatkarma and Pranayam teacher as Adhiroha Yoga, and he is the founder of Gautam Yoga Peeth. So, sir, today sir is going to discuss on the essence of meditation and mantra chanting. How we planned this one. One is the spirit. When the science goes to invent something, we go to the ancient period, how the evolution man has come, the life started. Similarly, when we go to the religious items or the culture means something goodness. I am not mean to say that the religious culture, whatever the human being is doing something goodness for our health, for the society, whatever the science and technology or the nursing the brain, to train the brain, we go with some words which sounds. So with that sounds, we come to the mantras. So those things have much importance to relate our spirit, our body. So let us hand over to sir to know about the essence of meditation and mantra chanting. Sir Gautam sir, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Hariom. I will start this session with a mantra, which is the essence of all the Vedas, so the Gayatri Mantra. So I'll just invocate Gayatri and I'll speak about that. Om Bhur Bhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om. I would like to thank you, all of you, for inviting me to speak on this beautiful topic of yoga, meditation, and mantras. So basically, we'll just start with yoga. What is yoga? Basically, when we go with the meaning of this word, we get this beautiful answer: union. Union of what? The higher spirit and the lower spirit, or the soul of the Paramatma or Atma, right? So, and when we talk about yoga, we remember Maharishi Patanjali, who gave us the 8 limbs of yoga, where he uh, uh, where he talked about meditation at the last. So he talked about yama, niyamas, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. So I would like to speak on dharana, dhyana, and samadhi, and I will connect mantras with it. So what is dharana? Dharana is one pointedness of your mind. So basically, why we are doing pranayam, why we are doing asanas, we are trying to bring the mind or the awareness which is scattered outside of our own self. So basically, this is your body, and when we so in yoga, you go, or you're actually seeking some answers of your own life, right? Basically, you are experiencing some pain in your life, and then you go and you want to search, you want to seek something, right? Like Gautam Buddha, he experienced pain and he went for the search of truth. So what is that truth? He searched it outside the world. He went into the jungles, but finally he sat and he closed his eyes. So basically, yoga is to search within. And how to search within? It starts with the asanas. Then we go to pranayam, and finally we sit for meditation. So what do we do? What is meditation? So meditation is so basically when I myself teach meditation, there are people who says I have been meditating for 5 years, for 10 years. I ask them a very beautiful question, two questions. One question is, can you sleep? So most of the people, they say yes, I can sleep. But then I tell them, okay, you cannot sleep, and then everyone is like, okay, I have been sleeping for 20 years. How can you say that I you cannot sleep? Sleep is a state of your own consciousness. This is how I will connect one Upanishad here, which is Mundak Upanishad, which talks about 4 states of consciousness of a human being. The first state of consciousness is awake state, the waking state, which we are in right now, right? You can see me, you can listen to me, you can see other objects around you, right? So this is a waking state where you are connected with the outside world with your senses, all the senses. And the second state of your own consciousness is sleeping state. What happens in sleep? You go unconscious, you don't remember anything, there is nothingness basically. Now you come out of the sleep and then you say, okay, I was sleeping, right? And the third state of consciousness is dreaming state. What happens in dream? Your body and your mind is trying to sleep, but then suddenly your mind opens up there. So basically your body is sleeping, but your mind is opening there in your unconscious state. So that is dream. You form a word there, right? And the fourth state of consciousness, which all the Upanishads talks about, is called Turyavastha, or in English we call it meditation. This is what Patanjali talked, and he said that this is dhyana. So dhyana or meditation is not something which you can do. Meditation or dhyana is something which happens by itself. It is a state of your own consciousness. So basically, when we talk about sleep, what do you do when you sleep? Nothing. You try to sleep, right? You prepare your body and mind so that sleep can come over. The state of consciousness, one state of consciousness, which is sleep, which can come over you, right? And this is what yoga is. Yoga is trying to invite meditation, a state of consciousness. And then when we connect mantras to it, I would recite a mantra which is taken from Rig Veda, which says Mananat Trayate iti mantra. Basically, mantra is which you repeat again and again, and it concentrates your mind. So basically, we have many techniques out there to control and to control our mind, or to concentrate our mind on one point. But to invite the state of consciousness, which is meditation, mantras were invited. Mantras were invented by rishis. Now the question arises, who were rishis? Rishis were ancient scientists who listened the mantras when they were deep in meditation. So mantras and meditation, they are connected to each other. If you are in deep meditation, you may listen, you may hear some mantras which are there in the universe. As I just said, this cosmos and everything is connected, the tree and the you both are connected in many ways, right? The breath that you are inhaling is coming from the tree, and the breath that you are exhaling is the tree is inhaling. This is how this whole cosmos is connected. So so if you are in a deep state of consciousness, which is meditation, it will be natural that you hear some mantras. And same, rishis heard those mantras. They did not write them by themselves. They heard them from somewhere. They were in meditation, very deep state of meditation, and then they received the mantra. They received all the Vedas like that. So what happened? They received it and they passed it through the generations. They didn't write it. But then Veda Vyasa happened and he wrote all the Vedas and everything. So this is how we got the copies and we got the all the mantras. But we still have proper intonations and proper ways of chanting the mantras. So what can happen? When you chant a mantra, you are actually preparing your mind and your body so that meditation can happen to you. Right? And now this question arises, okay, these all things are very old. Rishis were there 5,000 years ago. Mantras were chanting. They used to do havan, yagnas, pujas, and everything. What is the use of this mantras and this meditation right now in this modern society? Huh? If you go and ask a person who is going to office 9 to 5 and living a stressful life, you go and tell them about rishis, they won't listen to you, right? They would say, oh, I don't care about this. I have to work. I have to do this. I have to take care of my family. They don't have the time to do this, right? But see, the need of all these things are because we are living a bad life. I always say that in yoga, if you go and if you ask the teachers, they say bliss is your nature. They say anand, or the bliss, happiness is your nature. But sometimes I say pain is your nature. Every one of us is experiencing pain in our life. There's no one on this planet who's not experiencing pain. Even when Krishna and Rama came, they also experienced, because this is how human beings were made by the cosmos. But the question arises how to handle that, or how to cope up with that, or how to live the right life. And when so if a person who has been living a very wrong life, not taking care of their body, not taking care of their mind or their breath, they will come to a point of exertion where they will not feel like doing anything, and then their journey will start, their seeking will start. And this is how yoga happens. This is how meditation happens. When a person who has been living very wrong and wants to change. So in modern life, people who are doing work, people who are doing physical work, there are people who are doing mental work for the day and for the night, they have been exhausted because they have been living wrong. What I am trying to say is the yoga, the yogic lifestyle is to teach everyone, every person out there how to live the right life. They can continue living whatever they are doing. They can continue doing whatever they are doing. But if they follow this lifestyle, and then this mantra and meditation. So it's very simple. People are suffering from stress, anxiety, jealousy, anger issues, lust, and I have a big list about those things. Normal people like us, we name these things as normal things. Okay, everyone has that, but we all are suffering. We all want to go beyond these things, right? We all want to go beyond all these things, but then we don't know what is the way. But if you seek, if you learn, if you go in search of yourself, you will learn that this meditation, yoga, mantras, they're the way. They're the way towards truth. They're the way of calming your mind down. So basically, if you just add few mantras to your daily life, just 15 minutes of chanting mantras and 20 minutes of silent meditation or any kind of meditation in the morning and evening, you will decrease all kind of stress, anxiety, problems by 70% in your life. This is what scientists says. This is not, I'm not saying this. This is not some Vedas or some Purana. This is what scientists, this is what AIMS report says. Meditation, and this is for local, this is for normal people. They have been living very wrong. They are not taking care of their bodies. They're not eating good. They're not, because why because they do not have the awareness. The basic problem is awareness. They have been avoiding, they have been ignoring what their bodies and their mind were asking them. And in our Vedas, we have different mantras for different things. You won't believe that if you we have the mantras to cure cancers, we have the mantras to for particular problems. You must have heard that there are the mantras to invite wealth, there are mantras to invite health, there are mantras to increase your memory power. For every kind of things, we have different sets of mantras. You go to Rig Veda, we have different mantras from Agni for fire element, for water element, for earth element, for different elements, we have different sets of mantras, and they do have their effects. The thing is that you just need a good teacher, a good environment to try that. And one more beautiful thing about meditation is that meditation can be shared. So if there are people who have been meditating for 20 years, 30 years, or even 10 minutes or 5 minutes, they can share their merits of meditation with others. So you can try this. If most of the times, what is the difficulty? People wants to try meditation, they wants to learn these techniques, but they cannot. Why? Because they do not get the right environment for that. And as I said, that it can be shared. So what you can try is, you try and search if there is someone who has been meditating for some time, or who has been into these things. Just go and be with them. Just being with people who meditates, you can naturally meditate, or meditation can happen to you. As I earlier said, that meditation is not something which you can do, it is something which will happen to you, right? One more beautiful thing about meditation is that every time you meditate, every single time you meditate, your state of consciousness rises from the base. As we are growing up, we remember, okay, in childhood you were like this, now you are much matured, right? So there is a speed of evolution that is happening to you, right? A great yogi, Yogananda Paramhansa, he wrote in his autobiography of a yogi that a normal human being will take at least 1 million years of evolution to reach the highest state of consciousness, to reach the highest state of mind, just by living a normal life without any yoga practice. This is what he said. But when you add yogic practices to your life, the speed of evolution will speed up. He said if you practice 4 hours of meditation in the morning and 4 hours of meditation in the evening, and you do it for 3 years continuously without any break, the evolution of 10 lakh years can be done in 3 years. This is the power of meditation. And this is why yogis and meditators, they choose Himalayas. Because they can meet people, they can meet such people who have been meditating before. There are people in Rishikesh, there are people in higher Himalayas who have been meditating for last 50 years. Just think about it. If you get in touch with such people, meditation can happen to you also. And that is why we are bringing this awareness to communities. We are bringing this awareness to universities, that everyone should meditate. Because if two people are meditating together, the vibrations or the energy of meditation will spread by itself. This is like a dangerous virus which will spread even without you uh, being without notice about it. So I would urge everyone who's listening to me today to meditate at least 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening. This is what a great yogi, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, he told to the world. If you meditate this much, nothing to worry about anything. Life will happen, but it will happen in such a way that you cannot imagine. So if you start meditating from today only, and you can see the results from day one. From day one, you can see the results. But Sanghe Sakti, they say. Sanghe Sakti means there's power in unity. There's power in group. So there's one beautiful example why I put so much efforts to this group thing. So if you're going alone on a road and it's night, so you have a torch, but it may happen that the cell is down, so you will be lost, right? Because you're alone. But when you're in group and everyone has a torch, it doesn't matter if your torch is off. You can still see the light. That is why group is good. Group is needed. Medical science also right now they are uh, researching about this astrology and everything. So they have this research that these horoscopes and stars, they do have effects on us. And then they have this beautiful again research on 21 people, that if you chant mantras form a beautiful aura, a powerful aura around you, and the effect of horoscopes and stars, they are neutralized. So basically many people have this problem. This star is not good, this star is not good. So if you start chanting mantras 108 times, any mantra you can take. You can take Om Namah Shiva, you can take Gayatri Mantra, which is one of the best mantras of Vedas, which actually have everything that Vedas has to offer you, the Gayatri Mantra. So if I talk about any practice, I would suggest this Gayatri Mantra practice. 3 times a day, if you can chant 108 times or even once in the morning, everything is sorted. And while chanting the mantra, meditation can happen. If you go to Vishisht Dvaitwad, if you go to other philosophies of Sanatan Dharma, they have the spiritual practice they have is just mantra chanting, nothing else. Not even pranayam, no even asanas. The bhakti yoga, they have this mantra thing. Simple. They will give you one mantra, the guru will give you one mantra, and you have to chant it 24/7. So if you have your favorite deity, if you have your favorite Bhagwan, and you have the favorite attached mantra to it, and you can chant it for the 24/7, then you don't even have to sit for meditation. You will be a living yogi. You will be in yoga, as he said, as a professor has he said that every one of us are in a state of yoga. How can we be in a state of yoga for 24/7? By mantra. Huh? You cannot meditate for the whole day, right? But you can chant any mantra for the whole day. Even right now, if I am talking to you, mantra is happening behind. And you must have seen people with the beads and bags. They have been chanting this again and again, again and again, again and again. And this is to train your mind. So anytime you have anxiety, anytime you have stress, anytime you have anything that disturbs your mind and your heart, you go to the mantra. You just close your eyes for some time, take your deep breaths, and then go to one mantra and chant it for some time. And you'll see suddenly your mind will turn itself around. So that's it. I would like to thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
One minute, sir.
Thank you, sir,
Thank you so
for
much.
highlighting the importance of chanting mantras in our modern life also. So I will request you, we have one question also. So at the end of all the lecture, we will consider those questions. Thank you very much to reach us with this spirituality and the importance of the mantras. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, that we have planned to develop our spirit, our mind, our body. This is the three things. So the asanas to make us fit, to make appropriate our all the internal functionings physiologically, and the mind which has the state of subconscious, unconscious, and conscious. So sir has rightly mentioned all these three items in connection to the mantras. Thank you, sir, again.
Thank you so much. Welcome.
Thank you very much. So now, chale vate, chale chittam, nischale nischalam bhavate. When prana moves, chitta means that mental force also moves. When prana is without movement, chitta is without movement. It means if we can control our breath, that means the vital force of this physiological body, we can control our mind too. But how? This is the question. If this is the question, then I have to clear the doubt. So let me invite Dr. Nausek Pam Nilkamal Singh. He is the Assistant Professor, Department of Yoga, Manipur University. Sir is having the teaching experience more than 10 years and have more than 30 numbers of research papers on yoga in peer-reviewed research journals. He is also the author of some books in relation to psychophysiology of yoga. He also delivered lecture more than 10 in different international and national conferences, workshops, and seminars. He is the member of several committees like Selection Committee of Academic Coordination, Coordinator of the Department of Yoga, Central University of Kerala, Yoga Education in University UGC Ministry of HRDC, Government of India, Yoga Education Project of the National Council of Teachers Education, Government of India, as well as Yoga Education textbooks, Ministry of Ayush, Government of India, etc. He has awarded the Dr. Shushila Thakkar Prakriti Mandir Prize for Best Paper in the field of Yoga and Naturopathy by the Association of Physiologists and Pharmacologist of India in 2011. So today, Sir is going to highlight on yoga for mental health and well-being. Over to you, sir. Please take your time.
Thank you very much, sir. And first of all, I'd like to express my thanks to the organizing secretary of this webinar and to the respected Pro VC of Mizoram University for inviting me to share some of my ideas. So I'll be doing my presentation using a slide. So let me share my slide now. So is my slide visible to everybody?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's visible, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, as Sir has already mentioned, I'll be presenting on yoga for mental health and wellness. In my respected speaker colleagues who have spoken earlier, Sri Chirag Gautam has explained nicely about the traditions of yoga, meditation, and mantra. In my presentation, I'll be focusing on the scientific evidences available in the field of yoga, psychophysiology of yoga. I have been in this field for more than 10 years, so I'd like to share some of my ideas and what are the evidences. Before beginning about the scientific evidences, let me touch briefly about yoga. So what is yoga and how old is yoga? According to mythology, yoga has been in existence since time immemorial. It has no
Sir,
beginning.
your slides, excuse me, sir. Sir, your
Yes.
slide is not moving.
Okay, so I'll do one thing. Is it moving now?
Yeah, now it's moving.
Okay. So, according to Indian mythology, yoga has been in existence since time immemorial. It has no beginning. But the evidence available is the oldest evidence available is this stellite seal, which was excavated from the Indus Valley civilization, and it is considered to be around 1500 BCE old. So evidence suggests that yoga is more than 4,000, around 4,000 years old. And there are various definitions of yoga in Bhagavad-Gita. The popular definitions are samatvam yoga uchyate, equanimity of mind, in different situations, keeping our mind stable, skillful detached action, yoga karma kausalam, and in Yoga Vasistha, yoga mana prasamana upayaha, a skillful and supple process of calming the mind is known as yoga. And in Patanjali Yoga Sutra said, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, mastery over the fluctuations of the mind. These are a few popular definitions of yoga. There are various forms of yoga, and Swami Vivekananda divided these forms into Raja Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga. It depends on the personality or disposition of the person, which type of yoga he chooses. For example, Bhakti Yoga is chosen by a person who have more devotionally inclined. Jnana Yoga are chosen by people who are more intellectually, who like introspection, who like to analyze things. So these are all different paths, but their aim, but the destinations are same. That is to unite with the Supreme Soul or achieve self-realization. These are the traditional paths, but yoga has become very popular nowadays. The popularity has increased exponentially. And what yoga, which we are practicing now, are few parts of Ashtanga yoga suggested by Maharishi Patanjali. he has suggested Ashtanga means 8 limbs yoga. So these 8 limbs, the popular components are asana, pranayama, and some form of concentration or sometimes meditation. And what we are practicing now are derived from Hatha Yoga texts. Hatha Yoga has given cleansing techniques, asana, mudras, pratyahara, pranayama, dhyana, and samadhi. So, what is the need of these different aspects of yoga? Can we not do only meditation or only mental practices or only physical practices to live happily or to achieve mental calmness? All these dimensions of yoga are required because according to Indian spirituality, according to the Upanishads, our personality, our existence as a human being is not only at a physical or mental level. It has various dimensions. This dimension has been explained in Panchakosa theory. So we have our body that is known as Annamaya Kosa. Then we have our Pranamaya Kosa, which is our dimension, energy dimension. And we have our Manomaya Kosa, which is our mental or instinctive aspects of our thinking. And then we have Vijnanamaya Kosa, or wisdom aspect or intellectual aspects of our thinking, and Anandamaya Kosa, or blissful nature of our existence. All these components or dimensions of our existence is required to live a healthy and peaceful life and to achieve the goal of life, that is self-realization. That is why the ancient masters of yoga has designed yoga in such a way that all the dimensions of our body are improved or they function in a maximum, in a most efficient way. That is why yoga masters or rishis have designed yoga in this pattern. So, for example, in this, for Annamaya Kosa, listening exercises like Sitilikarna, Vyayama, asanas, kriyas, I am not saying that these asanas are only effective to Annamaya Kosa or the body. It is effective to our Pranamaya Kosa also, mind, our mental level also. But the main focus is on Annamaya Kosa. Then Pranamaya Kosa, we have kriyas, breathing exercises, pranayama, yoga, breathing, etc. and so on. So all these practices has been designed so that our whole body, our whole existence, whole personality develops in a beautiful way, and we can live a healthy and enjoy our life to the maximum and feel the bliss, which is our true nature. So yoga is a holistic approach towards life so that we can realize our full potential. If my body is not functioning properly and my mind is working properly, we cannot express my complete potential. If my mind is not working properly, even if my body is very muscular, very strong, then we cannot express or we cannot use our personality to the maximum level. So that is why yoga targets holistically. Yoga is a whole system approach. So this whole system approach is very important in improving our mental health and well-being. Well-being, the definition of well-being is an active process through which people become aware of and make choices towards a more successful existence. The first thing is awareness of our mental condition, or physical condition, or spiritual condition. And to make choices, to the ability to make choice towards a more successful existence. That simply means to make the correct choice in life. Just like my colleague has already told, that yoga is a lifestyle to choose correctly in our life, so that there is no hurdle, there is no disturbances in our life. And there are various theories of wellness, and most popular theory prescribes that there are 6 dimensions of wellness. One is physical dimension, social dimension, intellectual dimension, spiritual dimension, emotional dimension, and occupational dimension. And I have already mentioned that yoga is holistic in approach. So to touch all the dimension of yoga, yoga to all the dimensions of wellness, yoga is very effective. And there are many scientific evidences which have shown that not just yoga people are only claiming that yoga is very good, but all the scientists or all the researchers have shown that yoga is actually good for our mental health, physical health, and for wellness. So from now on, I'll be presenting the scientific evidences. Some of them are my publications, some are publications of other people, other scientists with proper references, with proper citation. And there are the body of evidence available now in the scientific field about the effects, psychophysiological effects of yoga are very large. It cannot be condensed in one presentation. So I'll be focusing on the important publications, important evidences. So as we have already mentioned, that wellness has 6 dimensions. So I'll try to touch the effect of yoga on each dimension. Physical wellness through yoga. Yoga can improve cardiorespiratory fitness. There are various studies, the citations are given here, the references are given here, that yoga can increase the ability of the heart to vary its rate. That means if I have to run, my heart rate should increase. If it does not increase, there is some problem in my heart. So, for example, in elderly people, in aged population, this flexibility of our heart is decreases. Or even in young people who are sedentary, who does not do any physical activity, this ability of the heart decreases to vary its heart rate, to vary its rate according to the demand of our body decreases. And yoga has been shown to increase this heart rate variability, ability to vary the rate according to the demands of the body. And there are various studies which have shown that yoga practices, particularly fast breathing pranayamas like fast breathing yoga breathing techniques like Kapalbhati and Bhastrika can improve our lung function. And one of the important, this is also very important to control our physical activity, yoga and autonomic nervous system. As we all know, autonomic nervous system controls our body functions, which happens automatically, just like our heart rate, our digestion, our sweating, our stress reaction. It is controlled by sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. So when there is stress, sympathetic nervous system activates our body, and when there is no stress, parasympathetic nervous system relaxes our body. But due to various stressful situations in this modern life, most of the time our sympathetic nervous system is activated. So sympathetic overactivation is a problem in our life now. It can lead to various diseases if our sympathetic activity, sympathetic overactivation is there for a long time. So it is very important to prevent certain psychosomatic diseases by controlling the function of the autonomic nervous system. And there are, in this field, yoga has been proven without any doubt that yoga can restore the balance between sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. The balance between parasympathetic nervous system and sympathetic nervous system is not proper in a person who is not practicing yoga. But if you practice yoga, the balance between sympathetic and parasympathetic activity is restored, or parasympathetic activity can be increased by practicing certain yoga practices. Particularly, I'll mention some of them. They are Nari Shuddhi Pranayama without breath holding, then deep breathing practices which elongates our exhalation, Brahmari, Udgit, that is Om chanting, they are all shown to be useful for increasing parasympathetic activity. This is very important because we are all living a very stressful life and we need to hold on to something to restore, to keep the balance between sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. And these are some of the few of the evidences available in yoga and musculoskeletal system. Hatha yoga can improve strength and flexibility, improve range of motion by aging or by living a sedentary lifestyle, or movement of the joints and limbs decreases, but yoga can increase those and improve our function. Yoga increase spinal mobility and flexibility of the hamstring muscle. And one of the popular theories, things which are coming up now is yoga and fascia. Fascia is nothing but a connective tissue which binds our organs and muscle fibers together. When we don't use this fascia, when we don't do physical activity, this fascia thickens and it becomes condensed. It loses its flexibility. This losing of flexibility of the fascia, or the the thickness increases, there can be many health consequences. There can be disturbances in immunological surveillance by the immune system. Okay, and there can be this disturbance in the fluid exchange between the tissue and the extracellular fluid. So in the long term, it can lead to various diseases. But now the scientists are very interested in finding the effect of yoga on fascia, because by doing yoga stretching for a long time of yoga asanas, it has been found that the thickness and flexibility of this connective tissue called fascia can be decreased. So yoga can prevent people from suffering various diseases. And coming back to yoga and intellectual wellness, yoga can improve executive functions. Executive functions are those functions which we which are useful in our daily life. For example, working memory. Memory is very important. And planning, concentration, attention, all comes under executive function. So yoga breathing techniques, yoga asanas, individually and in combination, has been shown to improve executive function. So yoga can improve our productivity in life, and it can make us think properly and function in a more efficient way. And this I'll be presenting a very interesting thing. Meditation practitioner exhibit greater gray matter volume. In our brain, there are white matter and gray matter. Gray matter is the area in which actual processing of information happens. Processing of information happens, and white matter is the part where neurons transfer signals. So gray matter volume is very important in the functioning of, or the processing of information. And it has been shown that meditation practitioners have higher volume of gray matter in the brain. And not only meditation practitioner, but those who practice yoga regularly, compared to those who don't practice yoga, there are evidences which have shown that gray matter volume in the areas of the brain which are concerned with happiness and memory deposition, memory consolidation, are greater compared to those who don't practice yoga. So this is an important finding. And there are, one of the study also mentions that the area in which gray matter volume are higher are those areas which are normally seen to be declining in old age people. So we can say that yoga or meditation can prevent the effect of aging on our brain. So these are very interesting findings in the field of our intellectual health. And another study is yoga and P300 potential. If you see the graph, P300 is nothing. The highest positive wave at the time span of 300 milliseconds. So you can see the highest, this one, P3, highest positive wave. P means positive, and at around 300 milliseconds. So from this graph can be obtained by through an evoked potential equipment by applying electrodes on our brain. There are many paradigms to measure this. We use auditory evoked potential and auditory oddball paradigm. So in this, the important thing is, I'll avoid the technical things. In this, important thing is, one is latency from 0 to the appearance of P3. From 0 to the appearance of highest positive wave. That is known as latency. And from 0 to the height of the P3 wave is known as amplitude. What latency gives is the efficiency of the neurons efficiency or the speed through which the neurons are transferring the signals. So how fast the neurons are working. And the amplitude gives information of how many or what is the volume of neurons utilized during that particular activity. So in experiments using pranayama techniques or yoga breathing techniques, Kapalabhati can increase the height of the wave, that is the amplitude. That means if you do Kapalabhati, more neurons are available for doing work. There are more resources, neuronal resources available for doing certain activity of the brain. And if we do alternate nostril yoga breathing or Nari Suddhi or Anulom Vilom Pranayama, then the latency decreases. Please remember, latency means the efficiency or the speed with which the information is transferred in the neurons. So latency decreases means the speed increases, the time taken decreases. That means the speed increases. That means our neurons become more efficient. Okay, so if we do Kapalbhati or Anulom Vilom, Nari Suddhi, alternate nostril yoga breathing, our brain become more efficient and the neuronal resources available becomes higher. So emotional wellness through yoga. Yoga can increase levels of feel-good hormones like serotonin. Serotonin are useful in making us feel good. This type of hormones levels are low in people with depression. So if you do yoga, you feel good about yourself. The feeling of happiness can happen because of this chemical called serotonin, and serotonin has been shown to increase after practicing yoga. And yoga can reduce stress level. There are many studies in this, and it has been proven without any doubt that practices of yoga can increase or can decrease anxiety or stress. And one of the interesting finding is yoga can increase level of Gaba or gamma amino butyric acid. Gamma amino butyric acid is an inhibitory neurotransmitter. Inhibitory neurotransmitter means it inhibits or stops excitation of our brain, of the neurons in our brain, in the central nervous system. Overexcitation of neurons in the central nervous system. So yoga asana can increase the level of GABA in the thalamic level. That means we can prevent overexcitation, overstimulation of our neurons. And yoga can enhance response inhibition. What is response inhibition? If a person who is an alcoholic, he has been told by his family to stop drinking. He also wants to stop drinking, but his desire, his instinct will always override his response to alcohol. So if a person does yoga, this unwanted response to alcohol from a unalcoholic person can be reduced. He can prevent himself to react to alcohol. So it is very useful in substance abuse. Yoga is very useful in substance abuse because of this finding. A person can inhibit his response whenever he wants. So it has control on his response. This is occupational wellness. Yoga can improve occupational well-being. This I'll come back in another slide. And social relationship, yoga can improve interpersonal relationship. This I'll explain in this last slide of mine. There is a functional connectivity, a loop in our brain known as corticobasal ganglia thalamic loops. This loop is activated. This loop is activated whenever we do activities which involve body awareness, procedural learning, and body awareness and procedural learning, and motor coordination. Motor coordination means coordination between our different parts of our body. Coordinated activities. Body awareness, as we all know, and procedural learning, to do something by following a certain procedure. All these activities are involved in the practice of yoga. Yoga practice requires body awareness, motor coordination between our legs and hands, our trunk and our legs, our head and our other parts of our body. And practice of yoga requires procedural learning. So when we practice yoga asana or yoga pranayama, this corticobasal ganglia thalamic loop is activated. So just like when we use our muscles regularly, our muscle becomes healthy. Just like that, when we use this loop regularly, it becomes healthy. The connectivity becomes easier. The functional connectivity becomes easier. And the interesting thing is that this corticobasal ganglia thalamic loop also controls other activity like social behavior, cognitive function, etc. So we say if a person does yoga properly, his behavior changes or his social behavior becomes better. So this is the mechanism through which yoga practices can influence the social behavior of a person and a cognitive function of a person. It is through corticobasal ganglia thalamic loop. So this is the end of my slide. I hope that I have not taken extra time, and thank you very much again for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Nilakamal sir, for elaborating the yoga related with the health and well-being. We all know that the mental health is also one of the very essential. Sir has highlighted all the important points with highlighting the references and also. Thank you very much, sir, for elaborating all the knowledges which you have gathered to share with all of us. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Now I request the next speaker, Ravitap Sahu sir, to start his session. So before start his session, I would like to give a brief introduction of our speaker, Ravitap Sahu sir. He is the lecturer at the retreat for me at Delhi and a professional yoga teacher having more than 4 years of teaching experience in the field of yoga. And he started his journey as a yoga practitioner at the age of 14 years from the Royal Yoga, India. From the very young age, he has started. During his teenage age, he played several district competition, state competition, and national, where he represented his state of Jharkhand also. Then after that, he came to know that there is also lots more theoretical aspect of yoga. So he chose to learn further, make his career. So he looked after the yoga college, and by the luck, he got admission in the world oldest yoga institute, Kaivalya Dhamma Yoga Institute. For about 3 years, he has been there in the Lonavala, Pune, and he did his BA in the Yoga Shastra. After completing his BA, he pursued his master, and he did his master in MSc Yoga Therapy from the SBYASA, Bangalore. Along with that, he did Hatha Yoga for 21 days, and he is also a registered yoga teacher's training course for 500 hours from the Vinayasa Yoga Ashram, Rishikesh, and he has been doing yoga, instructor at the Care Fitness, Jamshedpur, Asana Yoga Healing, Pune, and yoga therapies at the Siri Yoga Academy, Bangalore, and at present, the lead teacher at the RFM Academy, Delhi, where he's been working as a lecturer for TTC of 200 or 300 hours. So as in my brief introductions, we just say that our next speaker has started his yoga from the very young age. So with his young age, he has learned lots of things of the yoga. So today he will be deliver topics will be on the essence of the asanas and the pranayams. So now I request our next speaker, Shri Ravidap Sahuji, to kindly start. Please, your time.
हरिओम एवरीवन। सबसे पहले यहाँ उपस्थित मिजोरम यूनिवर्सिटी के सभी गुरुजन एवं जितने भी लोग यहाँ पे हम लोगों के साथ जुड़े हैं, उन सभी को मेरा नमन। My name is Ravidap and today for my topic is Asana and Pranayam, the essence of Asana and Pranayam. So, सबसे पहले मैं बताना चाहूँगा what is yoga. Before entering into the asana and pranayam, I would like to tell you about the yoga. What is yoga? Like yoga is the practice which has been done since ancient period of time. Like जितने भी युग है, ancient युग से लगभग 5 साल पुराना जो योग है उसे बताया जाता है. Like ancient period of time से योगा को महत्व दिया गया है. सृष्टि के निर्माण के साथ the practice of yoga was there. योगा जो हमारा आया है, it came from the सनातन धर्म. हमारे सनातन धर्म से योगा आया, right? So what happens in the ancient period of time? What does people do? There were sages, rishi muni. So their ultimate aim was to attain liberation. वो भगवान की प्राप्ति के लिए योग का अभ्यास किया करते थे, right? So there were many practices. What they used to do sadhana. They used to do sadhana to achieve their goal. Their ultimate aim was Bhagwan ki prapti, right? So the word yoga, what is word yoga? Yoga is derived from the verbal root yuj. ये एक संस्कृत धातु युज वर्ड से आया है, जिसका मतलब होता है यूनियन, जोड़ना, टू इंटीग्रेट. सही तरीके से अगर देखा जाए तो योग का मतलब है आत्मा से परमात्मा का मिलन. The unity of the our soul with the divine soul, with the supreme soul, that is yoga. अगर normally अगर देखा जाए तो yoga is nothing but awareness towards our body, mind and soul. जितने भी yogis, practitioners, जितने भी लोग आए हैं, सभी ने एक ही चीज के बारे में बताया है. जैसे कि for example अगर ले लिया जाए Charvak, what he said, yoga is to create the balance in the body, mind and soul. Swami Kuvelyanand, the founder of Kevaladhama Yoga Institute, what he gave the message, yoga is the complete message for human body, human mind and human soul. So ultimately what happens, to create the balance, to create the awareness among our body, mind and soul, that is referred to as yoga. And ultimately the thing in the ancient period of time, the practitioners, what they used to do sadhana, they used to meditate, they used to do the practice of asana, pranayam, mantra chanting, dharana, dhyana, all the so all these practices were introduced by them in the ancient period of time. कहीं ना कहीं we are in the young and youth generation of 21st century, जहाँ तक हमें ये knowledge का ज्ञान प्राप्त होता है, right? जिसका संचार हम आज इस चीज को जान करके उसके अभ्यास को फॉलो करते हैं। तो एक स्टोरी बताना चाहूंगा मैं कि ये जो परंपरा है, ये जो योग का, ये किस तरह से हमारे तक आया। तो मैं हठ योग का अभ्यास के बारे में आपको बताना चाहूंगा। तो हठ योग का जो अभ्यास है वो भगवान शिव के द्वारा बताया गया है, लॉर्ड शिवा, आदिनाथ महादेव। तो उन्होंने क्या उन्होंने इस हठ योग के अभ्यास को मेंशन किया दुनिया को। एक समय की बात है जब माता पार्वती ने भगवान शिव से बोला कि उन्हें हठ योग के अभ्यास के बारे में जानना है। तो भगवान शिव ने कहा यस फॉर श्योर आई विल टेल यू। तो फिर वो तट के किनारे, तालाब के किनारे माता पार्वती को हठ योग के अभ्यास के बारे में बताने लगे। सो उन दोनों के वार्तालाप के बीच में एक और पर्सन वहां पे मौजूद था पानी के भीतर, जिसका नाम था मत्स्येंद्र नाथ। एक मछली के रूप में वो वहां पे प्रेजेंट थे, राइट। बट ये चीज भगवान शिव और माता पार्वती को अवेयर नहीं थी कि कोई थर्ड पर्सन उनके वार्तालाप को सुन रहा है। और मत्स्येंद्र नाथ भी सही नहीं समझे कि अचानक से सडनली बीच में इंटरप्ट करना, मत्स्येंद्र नाथ भी सही नहीं समझे। तो वार्तालाप खत्म हो जाने के बाद जब आदिनाथ ने बता दिया माता पार्वती को हठ योग के अभ्यास के बारे, तो खत्म होने के बाद, उनके वार्तालाप खत्म होने के बाद सडनली मत्स्येंद्र नाथ प्रकट होते हैं और सबसे पहले भगवान शिव से माफी मांगते हैं कि प्रभु मुझे माफ करिए, मैंने आपके वार्तालाप को सुन लिया। तो भगवान शिव हंसते हुए बोलते हैं जब अगर तुमने इस वार्तालाप को सुन ही लिया तो तुम्हें इस परंपरा को आगे बढ़ाना होगा। तो मत्स्येंद्र नाथ, आदिनाथ से मत्स्येंद्र नाथ तक आया, मत्स्येंद्र नाथ से गोरक्षनाथ तक आया। इसी तरह करते 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 ये जो हठ योग का अभ्यास था, हठ योग का ज्ञान था, वो पूरे दुनिया भर में हम लोगों तक वो फैला, राइट। सो व्हाट हैपेंस, हठ योग के अभ्यास में अगर देखा जाए तो हठा ग्रंथ, बहुत सारे हठा ग्रंथ हैं। ये जो स्टोरी था ये पर्टिकुलरली देयर इज अ हठा टेक्स्ट व्हिच इज नोन एज शिव संहिता, उसमें मेंशन्ड है। रेदर देन दैट उसमें ये भी मेंशन्ड है कि भगवान शिव ने 84 लाख आसन के बारे में बताया है उन्होंने। तो बहुत सारे अलग अलग हठा ग्रंथ हैं, जैसे कि शिव संहिता, वशिष्ठ संहिता, खैरंड संहिता, हठ योग प्रदीपिका। So I would like to tell a little short description about Hatha Yoga Pradipika, which is also a Hatha text. Hatha Yoga Pradipika एक टेक्स्ट है जो 1300 से लेके 1600 के बीसी में उसे लिखा गया। And his writer was स्वामी स्वात्माराम। स्वात्माराम ने हठ योग के बारे में हठ योग प्रदीपिका एक बुक उन्होंने लिखा, जिसमें उन्होंने 4 स्टेप्स बताए, आसन, कुंभक, मुद्रा एंड नादानुसंधान, जिसे हम लोग चतुरंग योग भी बोलते हैं। तो उन्होंने सबसे पहला लिम्ब जो बताया वो आसन को महत्व दिया, आसन। एंड द सेकंड इज कुंभक। कुंभक इज नथिंग बट, कुंभक को हम लोग प्राणायाम भी बोल सकते हैं। तो उन्होंने आसन और कुंभक के महत्व को हठ योग प्रदीपिका बुक में, ग्रंथ में मेंशन किया। हठ योग प्रदीपिका जो बुक है, जो पहला चैप्टर है आसन, उसमें अप्रॉक्स उन्होंने 15 आसन के बारे में मेंशन किया। तो सबसे पहले उन्होंने क्या बोला, इन 15 आसन में हमें वेल वर्स्ड होना है। आसन के माध्यम से हमें सिद्धियास गेन करनी है। व्हाट इज सिद्धियास? सिद्धियास आर नथिंग बट द सुपर नेचुरल पावर्स। आसन के माध्यम से हमें सिद्धियास गेन करनी है, तब जाकर के फिर हम आगे का लिम्ब जो है, आगे का जो अंग है कुंभक, जिसको हम लोग प्राणायाम भी बोलते हैं, उसमें मूव कर पाएंगे, राइट। सो आसन, 15 आसन में वेल वर्स्ड होने के बाद वो कुंभक का अभ्यास को बताते हैं। यही नहीं, कुंभक के अभ्यास, प्राणायाम के अभ्यास में आने से पहले उन्होंने 4 चीज को महत्व दिया है कि 4 चीज में आपको वेल वर्स्ड होना है, संपूर्ण रूप से आपको स्थिरता पानी है 4 चीजों में। दैट इज वेल वर्स्ड इन आसन, आसन में वेल वर्स्ड होना है। सेकेंड, प्रॉपर गाइडेंस ऑफ गुरु, गुरु का प्रॉपर गाइडेंस होना चाहिए ड्यूरिंग योर प्रैक्टिस। थर्ड, प्रॉपर डाइट, योगिक डाइट शुड बी फॉलोड। योगिक डाइट को एक पर्टिकुलरली नाम दिया उन्होंने, दैट इज नोन एज मीताहार। एंड द लास्ट इज इंद्रिय संयम, स्टेबिलिटी ऑफ सेंसेस। संपूर्ण इंद्रिय संयम के साथ सेंसेस में आपका पूरा कंट्रोल होना चाहिए, तब जाकर के आप इस अभ्यास में आगे बढ़ पाएंगे। उसके बाद आता है प्राणायाम, which is also known as कुंभक। कुंभक is nothing but retention of breath, breath को hold करना is known as कुंभक, and प्राणायाम is the to and fro motion of the breath। प्राणायाम, प्राण का आयाम करना। प्राण is what? The vital energy, जिसको आपको आयाम करना है, the vital force। So अगर देखा जाए so ancient period of time में जो लोग रहते थे, they used to do sadhana, they used to perform meditation practice, they used to perform आसन प्राणायाम। तो उनका जो लाइफ स्पैन था वो कम से कम 400 से 500 साल वो जीते थे। बट आज के युग में वी आर इन द 21st सेंचुरी, राइट, जहाँ पे हम लोग देख सकते हैं कि हमारा जो लाइफ स्पैन है वो घटता चला जा रहा है, घटता चला जा रहा है, जिसके कारण हमारा लाइफ स्पैन 60 इयर्स, 80 इयर्स, 90, मैक्स 100 तक हम लोग 100 इयर्स तक हम लोग जी पाते हैं, राइट। दिस इज व्हाई, बिकॉज हमारा जो ब्रेथ है दैट इज नॉट एलोंगेट, उसका जो ब्रेथ का संचार है वो हमारा लंबा नहीं है। हमारा माइंड इतना ज्यादा डिस्टर्ब्ड है, हमारे चित्त में इतना वृत्तियां उत्पन्न होती है, दैट इज व्हाट द मेन रीजन हमारा लाइफ स्पैन कम होते जा रहा है। एंशिएंट पीरियड ऑफ टाइम में जो लोग रहते थे, जैसे कि सर ने श्लोक बताया, चले वाते चले चित्तम, जिस तरह से हमारा प्राण चलता है, जिस तरह से हमारा ब्रेथ चलता है, उसी प्रकार से हमारा चित्त, हमारा माइंड वर्क करता है। सो इट इज वेरी मच इम्पॉर्टेंट कि हमारा कंट्रोल हमारे ब्रेथ के ऊपर, राइट। सो एंशिएंट पीरियड ऑफ टाइम में व्हाट हैपेंस, जो ऋषि मुनि होते थे उन्हें अपने श्वास प्रश्वास में पूर्ण सजगता से, कंप्लीट रूप से उन्हें अपने श्वास प्रश्वास में कंट्रोल रहता था। दैट इज व्हाट द मेन रीजन वो अपने चित्त में वृत्तियां उत्पन्न नहीं होने देते थे, जितना नेसेसरी वृत्तियां चाहिए सिर्फ और सिर्फ उतना ही। आज के जनरेशन में हम देख सकते हैं कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल जो साइंटिस्ट होते हैं वो क्या करते हैं, ऑल द टाइम उनका लाइफ स्पैन बहुत ही कम होता है, लाइक 40 इयर्स, 48 इयर्स, 50 इयर्स, मैक्स 50 इयर्स तक वो जीते उसके बाद वो डेथ कर जाते हैं। द मेन रीजन बिहाइंड इज उनके माइंड में ऑल द टाइम थॉट वेव्स उत्पन्न होते रहते हैं, थॉट वेव्स आते रहते हैं, वृत्तियों का उत्पन्न होते रहते हैं उनके माइंड में, राइट। दैट इज व्हाट द मेन रीजन। और उनका जो ब्रेथ है दैट इज नॉट रिदमाइज्ड, वो प्रॉपर रिदम में नहीं रहता है। दैट इज व्हाट द मेन रीजन वो ज्यादा साइंटिस्ट जो है वो ज्यादा आयु तक नहीं जी पाते, 50 साल तक वो मैक्स जी पाते हैं। लाइक स्लीपिंग स्टेट, जो सोने की अवस्था होती है वो एक ऐसी अवस्था होती है जहाँ पे हमारा माइंड शांत रहता है, राइट। लाइक अवेकफुल स्टेट, जागृत अवस्था में हमारे माइंड्स में हमेशा थॉट्स आते रहते हैं। इन दिस प्रेजेंट एरा, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द प्रेजेंट एरा, हमारे माइंड्स में थॉट्स आते रहते हैं, लेकिन सोने की अवस्था जो रहती है वो एक पर्टिकुलर अवस्था रहती है 7-8 घंटे की, जब हमारा माइंड शांत रहता है, हम अपने माइंड को रेस्ट देते हैं। बट हमारा ह्यूमन माइंड इतना ज्यादा विचलित है कि सोते वक्त भी हमारे माइंड में वृत्तियां आती है इन द फॉर्म्स ऑफ ड्रीम्स, जिसको हम लोग स्मृति भी बोलते हैं, मेमोरी। तो वो वृत्तियां हमें हिट करती है, लाइक हमारा ह्यूमन माइंड इतना ज्यादा विचलित है। सो इट इज सेड दैट जो आसन और प्राणायाम के माध्यम से हम लोग इस चीज को कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं। आसन हमारे फिजिकल बॉडी के लिए है, प्राणायाम हमारे मेंटल बॉडी के लिए। आसन क्या करेगा, हमारे शरीर में दृढ़ता, स्टेबिलिटी, शक्ति, एंड्योरेंस, ये सारा कुछ इंक्लूड करेगा हमें, ये सारा कुछ हमें प्रोवाइड करेगा, जिसके कारण हम लोग स्टैंड स्टिल रह सकते हैं, राइट। एंड प्राणायाम क्या करेगा, वो हमारे ब्रेथ को चैनलाइज करेगा, हमारा ब्रीदिंग पैटर्न इंप्रूव करेगा, दैट इज इनहेलेशन एंड एक्सहेलेशन। सो प्राणायाम का अभ्यास, कुंभक का अभ्यास हमारे ब्रेथ को एलोंगेट करने के लिए, राइट। एक और एग्जांपल मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा। टॉर्टोइज, कछुआ जो होता है वो 100, 200, 300 साल जीता है। क्यों? क्योंकि वो पर मिनट सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक से 2 बार सांस लेता है। एक नॉर्मल ह्यूमन एडल्ट कितना सांस लेता है? कम से कम 12 से 15, लेकिन कछुआ जो होता है वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ 1 मिनट में 1 से 2 बार सांस लेता है। दैट इज व्हाट द मेन रीजन, उसका जो ब्रीदिंग है वो बहुत ज्यादा एलोंगेट है, लंबा है, इसलिए वो उसका लाइफ स्पैन इतना लंबा है। तो प्राणायाम के माध्यम से, कुंभक के माध्यम से हम लोग अपने ब्रेथ को एलोंगेट कर सकते हैं। लाइक रादर देन दैट, पतंजलि मुनि ने क्या बताया? पतंजलि मुनि ने ज्यादा आसन के बारे में बात नहीं किया। हठ योग में आसन के बारे में वर्णन किया गया है प्रॉपरली, बट पतंजलि मुनि ने ज्यादा आसन के बारे में वर्णन नहीं किया। उन्होंने बस एक ही चीज बोला है, अपने चित्त के वृत्तियां को निरोध करके हमें समाधि का दर्शन करना है, राइट। और उन्होंने योग को सिस्टमाइज किया। योग एक बहुत ही बड़ा वास्ट कॉन्सेप्ट है, तो उन्होंने सिस्टमाइज किया इन द फॉर्म ऑफ सूत्रास, विच इज नोन एज पतंजलि योग सूत्रास। तो उन्होंने इसके अंदर अष्टांग योग के बारे में बताया है, जिसको हम लोग बहिरंग और अंतरंग योग भी बोल सकते हैं। अष्टांग योग इज व्हाट? अष्ट अंग, यम, नियम, आसन, प्राणायाम, प्रत्याहार, धारणा, ध्यान एंड समाधि। तो उन्होंने क्या बोला कि एक एक स्टेप करके हमें वेल वर्स्ड होना है। तो सबसे पहले उन्होंने अंग का मेंशन किया, जो लिम्ब का मेंशन किया, दैट इज यमा। सेकंड इज नियमा। यम इज व्हाट? द एक्सटर्नल डिसिप्लिन, आपका स्वभाव दूसरों के प्रति। एंड द सेकंड इज इंटरनल डिसिप्लिन, आपका स्वभाव खुद के प्रति। तो यम एंड नियम इज व्हाट? द डिसिप्लिन ऑफ आवर लाइफ। तो उन्होंने सबसे पहले ये चीज मेंशन किया। इफ एनीवन विल आस्क अस what we say, yes, I used to practice the yoga, I used to practice yoga, मैं योग का अभ्यास कर रहा हूँ, we can't say that, we can say हम लोग योग के अंग का अभ्यास कर रहे हैं, आसन का अभ्यास कर रहे हैं, प्राणायाम का अभ्यास कर रहे हैं, मंत्र चैंटिंग का अभ्यास कर रहे हैं, मेडिटेशन का अभ्यास कर रहे हैं। लेकिन कंप्लीट रूप से अगर योग देखा जाए तो योग इज समथिंग, आत्मा से परमात्मा का मिलन। वी आर नॉट दैट मच वेल वर्स्ड कि हम लोग आत्मा से परमात्मा का मिलन कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज हमारा लाइफ स्टैंडर्ड कंप्लीटली अलग है। एंशिएंट पीरियड ऑफ टाइम में लोगों का मुख्य उद्देश्य ये था कि मोक्ष की प्राप्ति करनी है, समाधि की प्राप्ति करनी है। लेकिन आज के जनरेशन में हमारा मुख्य उद्देश्य क्या है कि एक बेटर लाइफस्टाइल कैसे मिले, अपने घर परिवार को कैसे चलाना है, ये हमारा मुख्य उद्देश्य है, राइट। सो इट इज वेरी मच नीडफुल। तो पतंजलि ने क्या बताया? आसन और प्राणायाम का वर्णन किया है। उन्होंने इसको लेकर के ज्यादा कुछ नहीं बताया, उन्होंने सिंपल टर्म्स में बताया। आसन का एक सूत्र बताया उन्होंने, स्थिरम सुखम आसनम। आसन वो है जिसमें आप स्थिर और सुख को अनुभव कर रहे हैं, राइट। रादर देन दैट, प्राणायाम का उन्होंने सूत्र बताया है, तस्मिन् सति श्वास प्रश्वास गति विच्छेद प्राणायामः। तस्मिन् सति श्वास प्रश्वास गति विच्छेद, जब आप कंट्रोल, पूर्ण रूप से कंट्रोल गेन कर लेंगे अपने श्वास प्रश्वास में, दैट इज नोन एज द प्राणायाम। तो इसके बारे में पतंजलि मुनि ने बताया। लाइक इफ वी टॉक अबाउट द प्रेजेंट एरा, व्हाट हैपेंस, वी यूज्ड टू डू द प्रैक्टिस ऑफ आसन, प्राणायाम, मंत्र चैंटिंग, ऑल दोस प्रैक्टिसेस, just because to keep ourselves fit, fine and healthy। आज के जनरेशन में जिस तरह टेक्नोलॉजी आगे बढ़ती जा रही है, जिस तरह फैसिलिटीज बढ़ते जा रहे हैं, जिस तरह लाइक वी आर ग्रोइंग अप, क्या हो रहा है? वी आर इनवाइटिंग द डिजीजेस, अलग अलग तरह के डिजीजेस को हम लोग इनवाइट कर रहे हैं। लाइक प्रीवियसली इट वाज नॉट लाइक कि डिजीजेस होता है, माइग्रेन होता है, डायबिटीज होता है, नथिंग वाज देयर, बट इन दिस प्रेजेंट एरा वी कैन सी many diseases are. The live example, COVID-19, which occurs in 2019 in the month of October in China. Sorry, in the month of October or November in China. और अभी तक इसका सिचुएशन नॉर्मल नहीं हुआ है। Somewhere the waves are coming and going, coming, going. So what happens in COVID-19? COVID-19 के कारण क्या हुआ था? हमारा जो लंग्स है वो इन्फ्लेम्ड हो गया था, लंग्स इन्फेक्शंस हो रहे थे, हमारा ऑक्सीजन लेवल कम हो जा रहा था। So we have seen the practitioners, जो योगा practitioners थे, जो आसन, प्राणायाम, मंत्र चैंटिंग ये सारा अभ्यास करते थे, we can see the changes in their body कि कोविड उन्हें टच नहीं कर पा रहा है। rather than that, अगर उन्हें कोविड हो भी रही है तो वो बहुत जल्दी रिकवर कर जा रहे हैं, बिकॉज आसन और प्राणायाम के माध्यम से क्या हो रहा था, उनका जो लंग्स का कैपेसिटी था वो इंक्रीज हो जा रहा था, राइट। ऑक्सीजन लेवल घटने नहीं दे रहा था, कोविड इन्फेक्शन हार्म नहीं कर पा रहा था। That is what the main reason COVID-19 was unable to hit those yoga practitioners जो योग का अभ्यास करते हैं। So we have seen like जो COVID patient थे उनको recover करने के लिए what were the practices, the yoga अभ्यास, the practices were introduced, mainly आसन and प्राणायाम। इन दोनों के माध्यम से जो कोविड पेशेंट्स जितने भी थे उनको रिकवर किया गया. लाइक आसन, इफ वी टॉक अबाउट आसन, all the chest expansion asanas, जितना भी हमारा chest expansion होगा, the more amount of oxygen will get in, right? The more pranayam will do, the lungs capacity will increase. lungs capacity increase करेगा ही करेगा, साथ ही साथ हमारा brain में control करने में हमारा help करेगा, right? So COVID-19 was the situation जहाँ पे योग अभ्यास बहुत ही मददगार रहा हमारे लिए. Not only asan pranayam, mantra chanting meditation also helped a lot. So these were the practices which was introduced. Rather than that, stress, आज के युग में अगर देखा जाए, stress is the main root cause for all the diseases. जितने भी विकार उत्पन्न होते हैं हमारे शरीर में, सबका root cause stress होता है. अगर बात करें माइग्रेन, हाइपरटेंशन, डायबिटीज, इंसोम्निया, स्लीपिंग डिसऑर्डर, थायराइड, जितने भी प्रॉब्लम्स होते हैं, सबका रूट कॉज क्या है? स्ट्रेस. किसी को वर्क काम का लोड है, किसी को फाइनेंशियल लोड है, किसी को एनी काइंड ऑफ लोड कैन बी देयर. सो स्ट्रेस इज द रूट कॉज. सो व्हाट हैपेंस, आसन और प्राणायाम के माध्यम से हम लोग इस चीज को कल्चर कर सकते हैं. विद द हेल्प ऑफ आसन एंड प्राणायाम वी कैन मैनेज द लेवल ऑफ स्ट्रेस, और इन सारे बीमारियों को हम लोग से लड़ने में मदद कर सकते हैं. So all these were the things. So in simple terms, I would like to say, what is asana? Asana is nothing but the awareness towards the stability of the body. पूरा awareness के साथ जो आप posture को hold कर रहे हैं, that is asana. One more definition you can say, movement with awareness, that is asana. Right? Asana is the combination of movements. बहुत सारे movements perform करके, like I am raising my both the hands up, जिसमें मेरा fingers, palms, हाथ, everything is using. So बहुत सारे movements perform करके we can result into the asana. Right? Movements perform करके we can result into the asana. So asana is what? Stability, awareness towards the stability. Pranayam. Pranayam is what? Awareness towards your breath. Breath is nothing but inhalation and exhalation. Asan. Asan हम लोग, like we used to walk, we used to do something. If we are holding something, कुछ hold करके अगर ऐसे हम लोग झुक करके खड़े, that is also asan. But वो तब तक आसन नहीं कहलाएगा जब तक हमारा awareness उसमें नहीं है, जब तक उसका हम लोग लाभ नहीं उठा पा रहे. You have seen the workers जो flats build करते हैं and everything, they used to carry the loads, they used to build the house. They are also doing the part of asan. They are also doing a lot of movement. But those are not considered as asana because they are in their work. There is no awareness present doing that work. Awareness नहीं है उनको अपने body में. But in terms of yoga, what is asana? Awareness towards your body. Awareness towards your physical body. So what asana does? Asana is the holding of the posture. पूर्ण सजगता से, पूर्ण awareness से, if you are aware of your bodily posture, if you are holding it, उसका संपूर्ण रूप से आप लाभ उठा रहे हैं, उसका एडवांटेज ले रहे हैं और उसमें आनंद अनुभव कर रहे हैं. That is so called as asana, as per Patanjali also, as per Hatha Yoga also. Right? Pranayam, like breathing. Normally हमारा breath चल रहा है, that is also pranayam. But until there is no awareness, it will not called as pranayam. Breathing with our breath with awareness, that is known as pranayama. Breath with awareness, that is known as pranayama. Pranayama is nothing but it is the combination of inhalation, exhalation and retention. हठ योग में जो कुंभक है, उसमें 8 प्रकार के कुंभक के बारे में बताया गया है जो योगी फॉलो करते थे. वो क्या करते थे? इन कुंभक को फॉलो करके, इन प्राणायामिक एक्टिविटीज को फॉलो करके वो सिद्धियास गेन करते थे. नॉट ओनली फ्रॉम द प्राणायाम, आसन और प्राणायाम दोनों के माध्यम से वो अपने शरीर में सिद्धियास गेन करते थे. सिद्धियास आर नथिंग बट द सुपर नेचुरल पावर्स. वो अपने नाड़ियों का शुद्धि करते थे. हमारे ह्यूमन बॉडी में इट हैज बीन सेड, ये भी हठ योग में ही बताया गया कि 72,000 नाड़ियां हैं. 72,000 नाड़ीज आर देयर. नाड़ीज आर नथिंग बट द एनर्जी चैनल्स हमारे बॉडी में. तो हर एक एनर्जी चैनल में देयर इज द प्रेजेंस ऑफ प्राणा. सो पूरे बॉडी में हमारा प्राणा है और उसको चैनलाइज कैसे कर सकते हैं? विद द हेल्प ऑफ प्राणायाम. उसमें स्थिरता कैसे गेन कर सकते हैं हमारे बॉडी में? विद द हेल्प ऑफ आसन. सो आसन एंड प्राणायाम प्लेज एन इंपॉर्टेंट रोल, द वाइटल रोल to keep ourselves not only physically but mentally, emotionally, spiritually and socially fit, fine and healthy. आसन और प्राणायाम के माध्यम से हम खुद को फिजिकली, मेंटली, इमोशनली, स्पिरिचुअली एंड सोशली हम लोग हेल्दी रख सकते हैं. सो इट इज वेरी मच नीडफुल कि आज के जनरेशन में इट हैज बिकम अ पार्ट ऑफ आवर लाइफ. आसन प्राणायाम एंड द अभ्यास ऑफ योगा हैज बिकम द पार्ट ऑफ आवर लाइफ. ये हमारे जीवन का एक बहुमूल्य अंग बन चुका है, जिसको हम लोग अडॉप्ट कर चुके हैं टू लिव अ हेल्दी एंड अ beautiful life. Like we look after the sukh, we look after the pleasure, we look after the facilities. Like there are many rich people who all are not satisfied with all this because though they are having money a lot, but they are not having a good health. वो पीड़ित है, जिसके कारण वो खुश नहीं रह पा रहे हैं. तो आसन और प्राणायाम के अभ्यास से we can make ourselves fit, fine and healthy. And after the practice of asana and pranayama, you can find the changes in yourself. Like changes as like the facial glow will increase. There will be a different spark in your body. There will be a different spark in your face. Automatically, people will get attracted to you. A kind of spark will be there in you. Mentally, you will be very much stable. आप mentally बहुत ज़्यादा stable रह पाओगे. You will be a good decision maker. कब कहाँ क्या डिसीजन लेना है, you will be able to make the decision, right? So the positive science of asana and pranayama, it is difficult for us to attain liberation, attain samadhi, but we can take the benefits from the asana and pranayama. These are the main essence of asana and pranayama, जिसके माध्यम से हम खुद को स्वस्थ रख सकते हैं. Living a healthy life in this generation is the most important part. So at last I will say, अंत में मैं अपनी वाणी को विराम देना चाहूंगा ये बोल करके that आसन pranayam and the abhyas of yoga, it is very much important in our life and it is the most important limb. ये हमारा लाइफ का एक अंग है. So everyone in this world should follow the practice of asana pranayam and the practice of yoga. Thank you.
Thank you, Robitabu Sahuji. So today we are very rich with our speakers, with their lecture. Meanwhile, we are very excused. Somehow there was some power problem and internet connection problem. So that was the problem. But anyway, we have some question. So let us start with Robitabu Sahuji. So one question is, what is mitahar?
Yeah, मीताहार इज अ काइंड ऑफ योगिक डाइट. ये एक तरह का योगिक डाइट है जो हठ योग के बुक में मेंशन्ड है, जिसमें सात्विक आहार, सात्विक भोजन के बारे में, भोजन को ग्रहण करने के लिए बोला जाता है. जो योगीज होते हैं वो मीताहार डाइट को फॉलो करते हैं सो दैट तामसिकता नहीं आती. तामसिक और राजसिक भाव उनको छू नहीं सकता है बिकॉज उनका जो मेन एम है समाधि. तो वो सबसे पहले आसन और प्राणायाम का अभ्यास करते हैं जिसमें उन्हें मीताहार योगिक डाइट को फॉलो करना पड़ता है. उनसे क्या होता है, मीताहार को फॉलो करने पर क्या होता है, लेथार्जिनेस, लेजीनेस, ये सारा चीज आपको टच नहीं करती है. सो इट इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट. डाइट प्लेज एन इंपॉर्टेंट रोल इन द प्रैक्टिस, राइट? इसलिए मीताहार को फॉलो करने के लिए बोला जाता है. मीताहार इज नथिंग बट इट इज अ योगिक डाइट और एल्स यू कैन से इट इज अ काइंड ऑफ सात्विक डाइट.
Thank you, sir. I think the question was asked from one of our participants. So it was really a good question and sir has nicely explained. Sir, one question I want to offer you, that is, we know regarding the magnetic field and energy, something related with Lalit sir also. So those things, some question is, it's in yoga, we know this aura. The question is the negative energy damage the aura?
Yeah.
Please, sir.
Negative energy damages our aura, yes. Like the practices of yoga, all are positive practices, right? The practice of asana, mantras, the pranayamic activity, the meditation, the kriyas, all the practices are positive. Even the diet which has been mentioned, diet is also positive. All are the essence of positivity. So it is very much needful कि सभी चीज को positively हमें follow करना. Like there is the term साधक तत्व and बाधक तत्व. It has also been mentioned in the Hatha Yoga. साधक तत्व जो हमारे हित के लिए सही है एंड बाधक तत्व जो हमारे लिए सही नहीं है. तो जो बाधक तत्व है वो क्या करेगा, वो हमारे नेगेटिव और वो हमारे ऑरा को नेगेटिव बनाएगा. सो हठ योग के जो अभ्यास है बुक है उसमें पहले ही मेंशन कर दिया गया है कि जो बाधक तत्व है जो हमारे ऑरा को हर्ट करे उनसे हमें दूर रहना है. राइट, दिस इज द थिंग.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I think, sir, your question is over. Thank you very much from the university side, from the organizing side. Thank you very much to join with us and to accept our invitation. And as our Lalit sir has said, within very younger age, you have gone through the yoga, as it will connect our spirit and body. I think our participant will be rich. We ourselves also is very much rich with your lecture. Now, if
motivation for all of us.
Yes, sir.
With a very young age,
yes.
With his knowledge, motivation for all of us, and not only to the all of us, very young generation also.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
So, if Chirag Gautam sir, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, sir. So, one question for you: Kundalini yoga.
Okay.
Is Kundalini yoga is right for human being or not?
Yeah, it is absolutely right. This is why it was made. And there have been yogis who have been practicing this yoga. But the main thing is there should be a competent teacher, a competent guru who has been practicing Kundalini yoga for years and who has mastered all the chakras and everything. In the presence of that master, you should practice Kundalini, not by yourself, not by reading books, or not by just right now it's all over there. Yoga means just Kundalini and chakras. It should not be practiced just like that. It should be practiced under a master. That's what I have to say.
Okay. Thank you, sir. This was all regarding our questions. Now we are at the end moment, but as usual, I conclude that it's not the ending. Any webinar or lecture or seminar or workshop, it should be the starting. Whatever the knowledge we gathered, we will nurture those things, and it will be the next step for our healthy life. That one. Now, let me again. I am very thankful to all of you. Now, from Nilkamal Singh sir also, and our PVC sir also still he is there. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to invite our Dr. Sanjay Kumar, Professor, Department of Hindi, and the coordinator of Yoga Center, MJDU, for vote of thanks. Over to you, sir, please.
Namaskar. Role and importance of yoga in modern life पर आयोजित इस वेबिनार में आप सभी लोगों का मैं हृदय से आभार करता हूँ. भारतीय परंपरा में ये हमारे योगियों द्वारा अर्जित बहुत बड़ी ख्याति है, जिसका अभ्यास हम आधुनिक जीवन में भी कर रहे हैं. और गुरुओं ने कहा कि योगस्य चित्तवृत्ति निरोधः, कि योग चित्तवृत्ति के निरोध का माध्यम है और इसके माध्यम से आत्मा से लेकर परमात्मा तक का मिलन संभव हो पाता है. लेकिन इस 21वीं शताब्दी के आधुनिक जीवन में हम उतनी बड़ी महत्वाकांक्षा न भी पालें तो आधुनिक जीवन में हम कैसे स्वस्थ रहें, सक्षम रहें, प्रतिदिन हमारा जीवन स्वस्थ और सानंद गुजरे, इसके लिए मैं हमेशा इस बात का उल्लेख करता हूं कि वॉकिंग, एक्सरसाइज और योग, इन 3 चीजों का अभ्यास हमें अपने जीवन में शामिल करना चाहिए। और हमारे आज के तीनों वक्ताओं ने इस बात पर प्रकाश डाला कि कैसे आधुनिक जीवन में ये तीनों चीजों की जरूरत है। योग किस तरह हमारा शारीरिक से लेकर के मानसिक उत्थान, विकास और स्वस्थ और सानंद का कारण बनता है। आप सभी लोग जो इस कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित हैं, मैं हृदय से आप सभी का आभारी हूँ। मैं क्षमा चाहता हूँ कि बीच में बिजली कटने की वजह से बाधा उत्पन्न हुई और हम जुड़ नहीं पा रहे थे, लेकिन ये हमारा संयोग कहिए, सौभाग्य कहिए कि इस बीच हमारे आयोजन समिति के एक सदस्य प्रोफेसर ललित कुमार जी मणिपुर में बैठे थे और वो वहां से उस टूटे हुए सूत्र का संचालन कर रहे थे ताकि कोई बाधा उत्पन्न न हो सके। तो मैं हृदय से आभारी हूँ ललित सर का। लेकिन मैं आज इस कार्यक्रम में सबसे पहले आभारी हूँ अपने प्रो वाइस चांसलर प्रोफेसर जे.के. पटनायक सर का, जो कार्यक्रम के प्रारंभ में उपस्थित हुए और हमें अपना आशीर्वचन दिया। मैं आपका हृदय से आभारी हूँ सर। अभी अभी हमारे VC सर प्रोफेसर के.आर.एस. संबाशिव राव भी जुड़े हैं। एक मीटिंग में व्यस्त होने की वजह से वो उपस्थित नहीं हो पाए थे। सर मैं आपका भी आभारी हूँ। आपके सलाह और आदेश के अनुसार ही हम विश्वविद्यालय में कुछ कार्य सक्षम ढंग से कर पाते हैं। तो अपने VC सर और प्रो VC सर का मैं हृदय से आभारी हूँ। आज के कार्यक्रम में हमारे साथ 3 संसाधन स्रोत और एक्सपर्ट हमारे साथ जुड़े। श्री चिराग गौतम जी जो योगाचार्य हैं विन्यासा योग आश्रम का, वो ऋषिकेश से जुड़े और अपने व्यापक अनुभव से हमें परिचित कराया। और आपने एसेंस ऑफ मॉड मेडिटेशन और मंत्रा चैंटिंग पर अपने विचार रखे। आधुनिक जीवन में मेडिटेशन और मंत्रोच्चार के महत्व को इन्होंने रेखांकित किया। सर मैं आपका हृदय से आभारी हूँ। आज के हमारे दूसरे वक्ता थे डॉक्टर N. नीलकमल सिंह। आप असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर हैं डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ योगा मणिपुर यूनिवर्सिटी इम्फाल में। आपने योग फॉर मेंटल हेल्थ एंड वेलबीइंग पर प्रकाश डाला और आधुनिक जीवन में मानसिक स्वास्थ्य के विकास में योग के योगदान पर प्रकाश डाला। उन्होंने योग के सैद्धांतिक एवं शास्त्रीय पक्ष को विस्तार से उद्घाटित किया। सर हम आपके हृदय से आभारी हैं। आज के कार्यक्रम में हमारे तीसरे संसाधन स्रोत और एक्सपर्ट थे श्री रविताभ साहू जी। जैसा कि सभी संचालन समिति के सदस्यों ने कहा कि कम उम्र में योग में आपकी अपनी दक्षता और पकड़ है, उसके लिए आप बधाई और साधुवाद के पात्र हैं। आप रिट्रीट्स फॉर मी दिल्ली में लेक्चरर हैं। सर आपने एसेंस ऑफ आसनाज और प्राणायाम के बारे में हमें बताया और आधुनिक जीवन में आसन और प्राणायाम का महत्व क्या और कैसा है उसे उद्घाटित किया। हम हृदय से आपके आभारी हैं। आप सभी लोगों ने योग के विभिन्न पक्षों पर प्रकाश डाला। हमारे एक प्रतिभागी ने 2-3 सवाल पूछे थे मिता आहार के बारे में और कुंडलनी योग और जागृति के बारे में। जैसा मैंने प्रारंभ में कहा था कि योग को हमारे ऋषियों ने माना कि आत्मा को परमात्मा से मिलाने का माध्यम है। अगर सक्षम गुरु हो, जैसा चिराग गौतम जी ने कहा, तो आप कुंडलनी जागृत कर सकते हैं, कुंडलनी योग कर सकते हैं, लेकिन वो साधना जटिल है, कठिन है। बिना अभ्यास और बिना सक्षम गुरु के वो संभव नहीं है। लेकिन एक आम आदमी के लिए जो गुरु नहीं हो, आचार्य नहीं हो, जो प्रतिदिन के अपने जीवन में दूसरे कार्यों में व्यस्त हो, मैं फिर कह रहा हूं कि उनके लिए, मेरे जैसे साधारण आदमी के लिए योग स्वस्थ रहने का तरीका है। जैसा कि रविताभ जी ने और बाकी आज के हमारे एक्सपर्ट ने कहा कि हम कैसे स्वस्थ और लंबा जी सकते हैं, खुशहाल और आनंदित जीवन जी सकते हैं, उसके लिए हम ये अभ्यास करते हैं, योग करते हैं। तो आप सभी लोगों का एक बार फिर सभी हमारे एक्सपर्ट का हृदय से आभार। इसके साथ इस कार्यक्रम में आज जितने प्रतिभागी शामिल हो पाए, जुड़ पाए,
मैं हृदय से उनका भी आभारी हूँ, क्योंकि बिना आपके आयोजन में शामिल हुए कोई भी कार्यक्रम सफल नहीं हो पाएगा। ये कार्यक्रम आपके लिए ही था, योग के संबंध में जागृति फैलाने के लिए था। भारत सरकार ने पिछले 8 सालों से योग को प्रचारित प्रसारित करने के लिए एक कार्यक्रम प्रारंभ किया है, और यूजीसी और एमएचआरडी की तरफ से हम लोगों को भी ये आदेश और निर्देश रहते हैं कि 21 जून को जो अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस है, उसके पूर्व योग को प्रचारित प्रसारित किया जाए, योग के संबंध में जागरूकता फैलाई जाए। ये कार्यक्रम योग के संबंध में जागृति फैलाने के लिए ही किया गया है। तो आप सभी प्रतिभागी जो इस कार्यक्रम में जुड़े, आपका भी हृदय से आभार। मैं अपने आयोजन समिति के बाकी सभी सदस्यों, प्रोफेसर ललित कुमार जी, आपके सहयोग से ही हम
सर प्लीज अनम्यूट सर।
तकनीकी बाधाएं बार बार बीच में आ रही हैं, लेकिन हम तब भी इस कार्यक्रम को कर पाए। आप सभी लोगों का एक बार हृदय से आभार। मैं एक बार फिर सभी प्रतिभागियों को सूचित करना चाहूंगा कि जो लोग इस कार्यक्रम में जुड़े, जिन्होंने रजिस्ट्रेशन कराया था, आप सभी लोगों को आपके ऑफिशियल मेल आईडी पर प्रमाण पत्र भेज दिया जाएगा। एक बार फिर इस कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित सभी प्रतिभागियों का हृदय से आभार। सभी एक्सपर्ट का भी मैं हृदय से आभारी हूं, आयोजन समिति के सदस्यों का, और इस मंच पर जो भी उपस्थित हैं सबका मैं हार्दिक अभिनंदन और आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। ये कार्यक्रम ऑफिशियली अब यहाँ खत्म हो रहा है। अगर आप में से मेरे वाइस चांसलर सर सामने हैं, सर अगर आप कुछ कहना चाहें। चलिए कोई नहीं, एक बार फिर आप सभी लोगों का बहुत बहुत आभार, और ये कार्यक्रम मैं फिर यहीं समाप्त कर रहा हूं। धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू ऑल।